Hello and welcome to today's video, and I'd like to actually do something which has been on my mind. It's a sort of a personal history. It's about this conflict between Russia and Ukraine, war or special military operation if you're daft enough to believe Putin's lies, and this is how I see it. Now, I know lots of people in Russia and Ukraine. I am involved in two businesses, and so I don't just obviously live from what I get from YouTube, which isn't a great deal. And one of them, I have a Russian partner, a business partner I mean, and not anything else, so a business partner, and that's related to motorhomes. And in the other business which I'm involved in, responsible for sort of marketing and development. That company is based in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and Biophyton's called. As of today, I don't even know what the situation is. If the production exists, I haven't asked. I'm not going to ask. Don't think it's a question that you ask. So I personally feel they're a little bit touched on that way. I also know more people, lots of people in both of these countries. I spent a fair bit of time in Russia, sort of speak the language. It's a bit with a funny Newcastle accent, but still speak the language. And Ukrainian, well, I don't speak Ukrainian, but as I know Polish and a bit Russian, then I read the press releases from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, where I get lots of my stuff from, and I read, obviously the Russian ones are in Russian, but the Ukrainian ones in Ukrainian, and then without occasionally have to look a word up. But so I really feel so I'm in this. Of my Facebook friends, I don't know if this is a good way of judging anything. Well, obviously number one country I think is the United Kingdom, because I went to school there and I was a child in the United Kingdom. So number two country is Poland, where I spend most of my time. Number three country is Germany, and the number four country is Russia. So I know lots of people in the and so for me personally, I do feel very engaged. Now, obviously, I'm on the side. I'm on the anti-fascist side. I'm on the anti-Nazi side. I'm on Ukraine's side. So that is utterly clear. What we have with Putin, it's a continuation of this communist imperialism that existed in the times of Brezhnev. So what we have, for me, I mean, it's very sad to be in this situation. Now, one thing we see, I've seen these memes about hating Russian so-and-sos, which I won't repeat the word. And this is very wrong. And this is playing Putin's card. Anybody spreading hate against Russia or Russians is playing the game of these fascists in the Kremlin who are opposing Russian people. Putin hasn't been stealing money from Western countries. He hasn't been helping himself to our resources in our countries. He's been stealing from the Russians, not us. He's been stealing from the Russians and taking the money to Western Europe, particularly United Kingdom. He's had his mates buying our football teams. He's had this. You might think this is good for the British economy. Well, it might be in certain cases. Yeah, if you sell Chelsea memorabilia or something like that, then this is probably a good thing. I mean, there's other arguments as well that it's not a good thing. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that now, because it puts up prices and things in certain areas. But so what we've got this tunnel, I should say, of cash coming out of Russia and going into Western Europe. So there is no reason to be opposed to Putin on these grounds. The thing is this: the people who are the victims of Putin, so the uneducated Russian mass, if you like, or whatever, those who are uneducated, or maybe it's not the mass, but the uneducated, they're the ones who are nationalists, and they're the ones who are supporting him. They're the victims of his crime, and they're the ones who are supporting him. Totally absurd, really, if you think about it. and might be worth thinking of for future things that they shouldn't be doing this. I argue that you should hate Putin, hate fascism, hate this communist imperialism that Putin represents. I don't even know if that's fair or hereditary communist imperialism, but don't hate Russians. And now, yesterday, I've been very cautious about writing to people in Russia. In fact, I haven't contacted anybody since any of this started. The reason I haven't done that is because many years ago, when there was martial law here in this country, Poland, there was a lady who was brought in by the secret police and questioned about me. And I feel responsible for that. And that must have been quite frightening for her. And I found this out many years later. In fact, I found it out about 15 years after it happened. And I've never been able to apologise to her. And if I could say I was sorry, I certainly would be begging her for forgiveness, even though the incident now is all those years ago. But so I didn't contact anyone. But then last night, I wrote to a former girlfriend in Moscow. I thought it was one of the best pieces of literary use that I have ever done. And I wrote these words. No, I won't tell you what words I wrote. But she's married now, but it's not nothing romantic. But it's along the lines of, the most important thing is now that we should remain friends. And she actually wrote back some more or less agreeing. But I'm not going to ask her anything. And I think she'd understand what I meant by that. It is true that many people support Putin. And in Russia. Also yesterday I had this other woman wouldn't say she was my girlfriend, she had been my girlfriend, but she's now living in Canada. She sent me a very nasty message because of my Facebook logo thing, the opening thing. I had put a Ukrainian flag, calling me a Nazi. So it shows how brainwashed she is. She's calling a country with a Jewish president Nazi. It's just totally absurd. At the same time as their press spokesperson is a rabid anti-Nazi. So it's totally a rabid anti-Semite. Totally absurd. But anyway, that's the world we're living in now. So support Ukraine and support Russia. Support Russia's liberation, that the Russian people can be free. And if I were given the choice of going into the Ukrainian army, which I can't do because I'm too old, or I'm not fit enough, I should say, maybe, or going onto the streets and protesting, you know what? I think I take the first choice. I mean, these people in Russia is showing incredible courage. We hear, getting arrested, arrested, brutally treated, beaten up, and people have been murdered in such as Sergei Magnitsky, horribly murdered by Putin's thugs. We've also other heroic Russians who have been killed. So remember these patriotic Russians, what they're going through, and to show support for them. It's that love Russia, hate Putin. I really hope that I can get back to Russia one day. I really hope that one day Putin will be gone. And I mean, I think Russia. I'm really excited when I get into to Russia. Always, I find it a super exciting place to be, and I hope I'll be able to be there again in a free Russia without Putin. So anyway, if you've got any thoughts on this, please write it below. Just a little thing I'd like to add to this, which is the following. So those people call Germans Nazis. Yeah, Nazism was in Germany, but Hitler wasn't. Hitler wasn't a German, and Putin was a Russian, but Hitler was never so it's totally false. And the failure of the Western governments in the 1930s and 40s to deal with the German resistance is one of the greatest failures, particularly in September 1938. Now, I really do mean to do a video on this. This is one of the greatest failures of, I would say, the British intelligence, or certainly British government, in my opinion, ever. So let's hope they don't make this mistake again. And like I say, at least at the moment, there's one mistake that isn't being made. There is some support going to Ukraine. I mean, it's not enough as it should be, but anyway. So, finish. Hate Putin, hate imperialism, hate fascism, but don't hate Russia. Love Russia. That's my message for you. Thanks for watching. Yeah, turn the camera around. We're pointing in the sun.